Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, I'm Deandra, and this is the channel that is all about intentional and abundant living. And today I just wanted to talk a little bit about not moving through life unaware of human nature, right? So as you guys know, this is summer, so I have a lot of time on my hands, and I am reading The Count of Monte Cristo. Let's take a look at her. It's by Alexandre Dumas. And look how thick it is, guys. It's approximately 1,000 pages. Yes, you heard it, 1,000 pages. And it's going to be the longest book that I've ever read. But it came highly recommended. And I just wanted, something that was kind of different from the things that I normally read. And I'm very much into classic literature. And yeah, so that is what this conversation is inspired by, right? So I'm only to like chapter 2, but I already see where this is going. So there's this young lad, as they would call it. He is like a sailor. And what ended up happening was the captain of the ship that he was on died when they were on their voyage, right? So now he comes back home. It's the country that it's centered around is like in France. And so he comes back home and he basically, is praised by everyone. He has a little bit of money now. He's going to be promoted, and he's also betrothed to like this beautiful young woman named, her name is Mercedes. And so he's on his game, right? He's on the up and up. And there are people that are around him that does not like that. He's of good character. He's so humble. He's loving to his ailing father. He's generous. He's all the things. And then the book describes him as, very handsome. So he has all these things going for him. And yeah, so basically he's back home, everyone is celebrating him. But, with that celebration, there are some persons that, is completely inspired and celebrating him openly. And then there are people that naturally do not like this, right? So there's these guys in particular that are starting to conspire against him. And so I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about how we must never move through life underestimating, human nature, right? When we're growing up, we're taught the math, we're taught the English, we're taught how to write the essays, the grammar, the history. But nobody teaches us how to deal with comparison, how to deal with envy, how to deal with greed, how to deal with people's pride, how to deal with persons that are disloyal, how to deal with greed, and just how to have discernment, right? We cannot move through life thinking that because we're good people, that, everybody is going to have those same characteristics. And I think it's a conversation that really needs to be had. We must understand human nature. Now, in order to understand human nature, we don't have to go look around just, based on what we know today. From the beginning of time, I grew up Christian. So, of course, I grew up reading the Bible, learning about, Cain and Abel, right? You had that jealousy there. You had Rachel and Leah, one was pregnant and then one was not able to have a baby. We saw Joseph and his brothers, right? And these are different generations. These are different cultures, but there are key themes, that over the course of history, these emotions, the manifestation, of human nature has been off with some people's head, you know what I mean? And so I think we must never underestimate the fact that there are some things that lies dormant in some people, and we have to be aware, right? Like we say, you have to stay woke, right? And I want to say too that I think that we have to take an inventory of what we carry, right? So if you ever wondered why people respond to you in a certain way, you have to take an inventory of what you carry, right? I like to say that you have to have self-awareness. And when I say self-awareness, I mean you have to be able to say, you know what? Maybe I possess something that may not sit easy with people, because sometimes what people lack, right, is the thing that they're gonna like dislike in you. And that sounds weird, but it's very true. So if you're a person that has beauty, right? You carry confidence, you carry discipline, you carry intelligence, you have opportunities that come to you easily, you have influence, right? Financial stability, healthy relationships, joy, self-assurance, strong work ethic, really. All the things. I need you to understand that some people are going to celebrate that. Some people are going to be inspired by that, but some people are also going to compare you, right? And some people, like Edmund in the book, you're going to have some people that resent you just for being, right? Just for being in that state of being. And we need to know and to understand that people don't just respond to who you are. Sometimes they respond to what your life represents to them, and that's why we in the Caribbean, we have this thing like, we don't tell people, we don't announce our moves before we make them, right? We don't talk. We've learned that our ancestors, right, the people before us, our grandmothers, taught us, gave us verbal warnings, don't talk your moves before you make them. Don't talk everything, right? Talk some, keep some, right? So even if you're going as simple as to the airport, we don't tell people like, oh, we're going away. There's a reason for that, right? Let them see things when it is already finished. Those sayings were not just from fear. They were about wisdom. They were about protecting your peace, right? They were understanding. There was an understanding back then of human nature, the generations before us, right? Privacy isn't secrecy. Privacy is stewardship. Sometimes you got to gatekeep you. You know what I mean? There's not everything that you share. Even in the world of social media, you can share your content, but you have to be careful that you're not sharing every single detail, because people could actually use that to, plot your demise, right? So you have to honestly show some and keep plenty. I live by that, right? And Edmund's character just started to show me that, we have to move through the world understanding that human nature doesn't change over generations, right? Jealousy is something that lies dormant, I think, probably in everyone, because it is an emotion. But when you start to act on it, to plot people's demise, it could be very, very harmful. And so I just wanted to come on here today to encourage you to use discernment, right? There's not everything that's going good in your life that you share with other people. There's not everything that you're working on you share with other people. There's some things that you need to keep just for you, to protect you. Not everybody is going to be excited for you. Not everyone is rooting for you, right? You have to protect yourself at all costs. And that is not, like I said, to make you fearful, but that's just having an awareness that allows you to protect yourself. Privacy is protection. Not to say that it's going to exempt you from the perils of this world, but it is a layer of protection. So with that being said, okay, I want us to become students of human nature, right? Understand patterns, move more wisely through the world, right? Don't become suspicious, but become more discerning. Don't lose your kindness, just add wisdom. Okay, it's very, very important. We cannot move through life thinking that life is a bed of roses and everything is butterflies and unicorns and, candy canes. No matter who you are, man or woman, don't share everything. I've known persons that were going to get jobs, and by the time as they reached a job interview, there was information there for them that blocked their blessing, believe it or not. I have known persons that were pregnant, ready to have a baby. They share their good news. They had miscarriages. Some may say it's coincidence, but we in the Caribbean know and understand that you got to know when to zip it. Not everybody is happy for you. And I think that's the biggest lesson. Don't live life sitting amongst people, you're in a room full of people and you're sharing just openly and thinking that everyone in that room is going to be happy and rooting for you. That would be a grave mistake. Talk some, keep plenty. All right. So I want to know, have you ever had a moment where understanding human nature changed the way you move through the world, right? Or have you ever been a victim or on the receiving end of jealousy? And how did you deal with that? So either one of these questions, I want to know your answers in the comments. All right. I'll be waiting for you guys. Bye for now.